have feels like they got a lot to prove. The team I want to look out right away from the lower bracket, Last Squid Standing could easily be the team to make a giant run all the through losers bracket. So there's a lot of eyes you guys want to keep an eye on. But right now, Saf, we gotta get this out the door. Royalty versus Tidings is gonna be the one to start, and they're already gonna try to get this one up and rolling here. I believe the opener, yes, is Barnacle and Dime Splat Zones.
Both European teams.
Yep.
I'd like to point out, Royalty and Tidings are both teams mostly comprised of European players. Tidings doesn't have too many results that I can really talk to you guys about. They do have a lot of very strong players on their side, I can give you that. However, Royalty, oh Royalty, my ode to you. My second place Alpha Bracket winners in Lowing September. Here again to try and fight their way up to first place. And I truly believe they can do it, Keon, because I remember sitting and getting to hang out with Royalty last month with you. And,
yeah,
like, we know they can do it. They have the right cards. I mean, consistently they can get down to Uno, but then they just get the draw 4+4 pulled on them in the final moments where it really counts. So it's like, it's tough. It's tough out here in low ink Alpha Bracket.
Yeah, it's as tough as you could possibly get out of Alpha brackets.
They do not give it; they only take it.
Of course, Royalty. Sorry, go ahead.
Nothing else. I was just given a chuckle.
Oh man, yeah, we gotta get a few chuckles there. But which, by the way, Royalty had to make the run through in lower brackets. We covered part of that run last month, so it's fun to see Royalty back here. But now the challenger approaches. It will be Tidings, which by the way gonna be on your Alpha side. Royalty on the other Bravo side, almost as standard you can possibly get. The only oddities that we're gonna see here: 96 Scout Deca with of course that Kraken. Hello Ballpoint, we miss you, the beloved, and the Custom Blaster making its appearance here. Saf, first points by the way out of the gate. Royalty.
Yeah, Royalty already making a huge splash on the center zone there. You can see that the 96 Scout is trying to maybe push forward on the street area, actually being forced to be pushed back because of Swashy on this Crab Tank. A lot of ink to be had coming out from Swashy, and you can see they're kind of just going back and forth too to try to get some paint down. But with the Inkjet coming up to follow up here, that is going to be Tidings now taking the zone in their favor. Even though with 2 members down, they can still take the lead.
Yeah, and they definitely taking the lead there. But it looks like we're going to be seeing probably the closest backcourt we're gonna have so far. It's really going to boil down to is ultimately the spacing that Royalty's going to have to dish out with. Tidings like, nah, forget that. But so does Blush on the other end. It feels like we're going to be seeing picks left and right and even center fold here in this stage alone. I feel like we're going to be seeing a game probably in the next 3 minutes or so where zones just going to be traded both sides what feels like every other second. Maybe this will be the one big hold that Royalties is going to need, but the rest of Tidings are just surrounding that with all their might. They finally break through out the penalty points. Royalty swipes lead once again.
I want to go back to what you said about all of these picks that are being had, because that triple splashdown that happened earlier, shoutouts to David for that double too. I mean, holy smokes. Make it a triple, actually. Holy smokes indeed. But that triple splashdown that came down earlier was also a triple pick coming out from Tidings. So definitely both teams are feasting on the picks to be had here. That's a nice one coming out from /face on the 96 Scout Deco. So Royalty sitting high and mighty on their thrones here with only 20 unit points remaining and 2 members down on Tidings as well. This is looking real good for Royalty.
Gotta love that I immediately jinxed the way this game was gonna play out there, Saf, as well. But for this one will be the KO here. Royalty takes game 1. You know how I immediately said like maybe a minute or so ago that this would be a back and forth matchup. Royalty apparently just heard me like, no, we're not gonna let you have your narratives of this being back and forth. We're just gonna take this one all the way home. And David's triple pretty much just enabled everything else. You get the Kraken for that support as well, just diving deep into that base. They get the one low pick, and then it just became Stagger City effectively for Tidings having to play catch up the rest of the way through. Royalty taking game 1. It's a great start for them, and hopefully trying to have something to prove here for the here in this semifinals matchup.
And I honestly, Keon, I'm noticing something here live on the commentator desk. To me, it seems like having that more delayed wipe type of scenario that David set up for themselves is more advantageous than taking 3 down at once. Does it feel better to take 3 down at once? Absolutely. Shout out to you, triple bomb kills out there, far and wide. But I mean, I feel that having them more delayed is easier because you have people coming out of spawn quicker, but they're coming out of spawn by themselves. And then their teammates are kind of too far behind them. It's like when you walk on a trail or you're on a hike, you have to have this what's called the 6-foot rule. And you have the 6-foot rule so that you don't hit people with branches that are walking behind you, potentially. And to me, it seems like we have to abolish the 6-foot... We have to sometimes abolish the 6-foot rule when it comes to Splatoon. And to me, it's when you come out of the spawn, you don't want to be staggering yourselves too hard when you come out of the spawn. And I think David set that up really well for Royalty. So on the counter pick, Tidings is choosing to go back to tower control. We're choosing to go back to ship-shape cargo. I think with what Tidings was trying to run previously, and especially considering it was a kind of an even matched game until that triple kind of snowballed things out of control. So I think if kind of the rules of the road are just kill more and die less. So I'm almost wondering if maybe that is the key to success here for Tidings.
And maybe if Tidings, that's the one I'm going to be intrigued to see if Tidings will be able to find even better success, because I believe this is their counter pick here in shape cargo tower control. And slash semicolon, which I believe we've been informed could also be simplified to bolt here for this matchup. They're going to be dishing out the range blaster for this one, which I feel like we will see blasters across the board whenever we see tower control in play. So hey, of course it's a solid choice. Flashy, by the way, getting the pick on the damage should help matters here. As both teams kind of just approaching mid with almost a similar, if not few tweaks to their comp. There, Lumi's still trying to pressure out the rest of Royalty, and both teams kind of having a hard time getting started there. Of course, I had to say that out loud. Royalty's like, again, we heard you. We're not letting you have your narrative. They take 3 down, they're going to be along with the first flash.
Yeah, and again, getting staggered out onto the map. There was a jump that came in, the jump immediately went down. There was a follow-up to that jump, they immediately went down and were called out. So you don't really want to stagger yourselves here. That's what Royalty is anticipating and expecting you to do. So first checkpoint for Royalty, now having fallen, all 4 members make it 3 of Tidings are up, looking to try to take the fight here. David launching that Trizuka, not really having any targets to hit with those, considering 2 different members now being down. You can see Lumi is trying to maintain some space here using maximum rage on their ballpoint. But with the pencil painting up all around their feet, and you have the bucket trying to follow up on the ledges, that's not a really comfortable spot for Lumi to really be and to do something here. So the tower for Royalty has kind of just been sitting in that corner for most of the game and just kind of in this like little straightaway here before turning the corner. But now with 3 members down on the side of Tidings, again, to make it a wipeout. Keone, I mean, Royalty, Bolt on Royalty here with this blaster is in a phenomenal spot to really displace things and to make sure that tower has safe passage.
I was gonna note there, Bolt using that range blaster and then giving avenues for the rest of Royalty to just move up has been so stellar so far. Bolt's gonna go down with that Trizuka on top of it as well. They're keeping what I love so far is just keeping that pace up, trying to prevent any semblance of Tidings to get themselves set up there. And Lumi, another shutdown, I feel like, from that 8-jet. For what feels like at least the second time in this map alone is making things a little bit more difficult for Tidings to get things going. I feel like they're having to rely a little bit more on Lumi to get with the setup there, or try to hope for Desperation 8-jets to make this one count. El's making the chase on the blush, able to finally take out that pencil user out of the picture. And now it's time for Tidings to try to strike first. They're gonna have to go 2 down, though. They may have to just rewind a bit, try to go backwards. Just try to get everybody back up front. They buy themselves a little bit more time, and they're approaching the first checkpoint. Trades on both sides right away here, Saf.
Yeah, and goodness gracious, finally, Tidings is here and playing the game with us. So first checkpoint now being fallen. Swashy on that crab tank is going to be huge for taking that first checkpoint. Unfortunately, though, you could see that Bolt was taken down over on the side there. So not Bolt, sorry, that's a different blaster that was taken down on the side in the pit area there. But still, look at that. There's David. There's David to follow up with the Trizuka. They want to get on that tower, prevent it from going any further. Not enough suspension, though, needed for Royalty to try to really make do with what they got. But, I mean, I say that, and then that's 2 members down on the side of Tidings, make it 3. So, again, it just seems like any time that Tidings approaches this corner, Royalty is quick to respond and there to fight back. And once again, you have Bolt on this blaster here. They when you know somebody can use a weapon well, it's really entertaining to watch it. And all they had to do was just kind of wait for that jump to make landfall. it was open real estate. It's free real estate.
Free real estate for all, and I just love great blaster play overall. In this battle between, I believe it's gonna be Babong with on that custom blaster, or bow for that matter, get against, excuse me, the range blaster user there as well, which is just gonna be the ultimate question: is who's gonna get the most value for their team right away? And Bolt's been the one that's been getting the most out of it. In fact, this actually might get out of control quick. It's 3 down, by the way. Rest of the team's gonna have to respawn. This is where Panic will tend to settle in, so Titans will have to play a little bit more patiently, try to get some critical picks that they needed. So they saved the checkpoint. That was key. But there's not much time left on the clock. They only got 15 seconds left to make this push count. So Titans has to clear out space. They gotta focus on painting the rest of the map as much as they can with about 8 seconds left to go. Now Lumi's gonna be the one using the H to try to push out the rest of Royalty. Any picks would be a great bonus round, but that's not what we're gonna see right away. With overtime kicking in, they got a crab tank available from Swashy. They're look for Swashy to pop that crab tank when it gets close to the point where they need to defend with all their might. There they go. They pop that crab tank, but there's Bolt right there. Few good shots forces the crab tank out. That overtime is gonna die out sooner rather than later. Richard will barely stay alive, but for how long? That's the ultimate question. They're 2 down. The rest of the team's able to collapse onto that. It was such a valiant effort from Titans, Seth, but Royalty's like, nah, we got to keep that run going. 2-0 lead here, and this should be set point, or I guess match point, if you will, for Royalty.
Swashy was so brave in the face of danger because in those final seconds they launched Crab Tank. They waited as long as they possibly could, Keon, before they had to launch Crab Tank for their own defense. But when they did, immediately you could see Pencil shooting at them. You could see tri-strikes getting lobbed at them from very far away. You could see different bullets coming at them. They tried to wait as long as they could. Swashy consistently tried to stay on the tower in the face of danger many, many times for Tidings. So I just want to point that out. I see you, Swashy. I see you, Swashy, and what you were trying to do.
It almost felt like that was the play they really had to do at that moment in time. They're having just all right. We got to get somebody sitting on the tower to at least have one last chance for an overtime push. Let's just put the splash with the crab tank whenever it's readily available to make that one count. And at the end of the day, Swashy, at the face of everything being thrown at them from Royalty, then just not enough left on the tank. And Saf, it's match point for Royalty. And again, this is the toughest place for Titans to be because they got to win 3 straight matches, with 2 of them being counterpicks if they were to win this one. And they're going to use this basically effectively their last counterpick that they have available to take it home on Pump Track Rainmaker. I'll be able to speak words correctly here, Saf.
Pump Track.
Yes! But that's the counterpick coming up here, Saf. This is the one I'm going to be intrigued to see if Titans has the answer.
Keon, are you a 2-wheel or a 4-wheel type of person?
That's a good question. As apparently all the dings are coming out right now. I'll say I'm a 4-wheel person. Why do you ask?
Well, because I'm just trying to think if I met you at the skate park at Humpback Pump Track, would I see you on a scooter, a bike, or a board? I also think you could rock the unicycle. For some reason, I feel like that's just like your secret weapon.
Nobody expects my unicycle game here at the skate park here, Saf.
They don't. Oh my god, they don't. I could see you going down the half pipe on your unicycle.
I speak a strong unicycle game. Just nobody knows it until they see it. That's the thing that gets them every time here, Saf.
That gets them every time. That's what gets them to come back.
Yes. But you see, I have to pull up on it. Yes.
I speak a strong unicycle.
I speak a strong. If you guys ever see me unicycle skate parking, I think I've gone crazy at this time. Which, by the way, I know we'll talk about it later. Maybe some distant time in the future. We got Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker coming up. Here's Seth. I'll talk about unicycles at some point down the road. We already know the drill. Tidy Titans is gonna be the one that needs to win this one from here on out. Hi, Carbon Roller Deco. How's it going? And the other change here is M-Parries, and for the second time on stream, it's a Luna Blaster, just of the different variety.
Yes! I love Low Ink Alpha Bracket October 2024 and the stands that we have on the Luna Blaster. I love it here, Keon. Opening statements being made, Swashy also changing, or no. Oh yes, okay, there is a Carbon, but it's not on Swashy, it's on somebody else. I thought that I was having a stroke. Anyway, with that, you have 2 members going down on the side of Royalty. However, you also have the same scenario going down on Tidy Tidings as well. Nobody's really touched the Rainmaker yet, because it doesn't really seem like anybody knows what they're doing yet.
So this is the intriguing thing that I'm noticing out of Royalty is the one that's dishing out the very silly end parries, and then the Luna, which is the Luna with the zip caster, not the one with the Sam, the one with the zip caster, just your vanilla kit alone. So this is the one I'm wondering what the heck Royalty has in store for us with this one. They may have something in mind. Bolt certainly does, as they take out 2 by themselves. The wipeout is there. No checkpoint available, so now all the clearance is there in the bubble. With this being such a condensed map, look for the quick turnaround here from Tidy Titans as they're trying to collapse to them on 3. But the Zap is the one that's trying to play front lines, and they're going to go down very quickly. It's the first checkpoint cleared out here. Zap, Royalty strikes first.
Yeah, they got to be watching out for Bolt on this Luna Blaster here. I think in just that run, Bolt was able to get like 4 picks. And then ran all the way across the map to help out with that checkpoint break. So 1 point difference here for both teams. Rainmaker is just kind of by itself at the moment. You can see all the members of Royalty are actually pushed back into the spawning area. That's Bolt on the sharking point, though, on the side of Rainmaker. I don't think anybody knows that they're there. And wow, what a turning shot to be had by Bolt there. 2 members down, though, on Royalty because of Lummy causing a lot of pressure over on that left-hand side. There's not really a lot of space to work with there. So that's going to be Tidings picking up the Rainmaker here. They're going to try to run it as fast as they can, but not before David is there to try to pick up the left-hand side, or the right-hand side, excuse me. But that was a 3v1 scenario for David, so that is going to be the checkpoint falling for Tidy Tidings.
Tidy Tidings was about a few seconds a little too happy there, trying to get that first checkpoint as soon as they can. They recognize it, all right, no, we're not quite there with you yet. We need to get everybody up front and try to surround the rest of Royalty. That's kind of what and Tidy Titans finally realizing that they're having to play a little patient there, and they finally take advantage. Rainmaker is going to safely reset, but the most important thing here is that both teams are checkpointless, or what I like to call this 2-2 game now for Rainmaker, as now you're going to have to race this one from start to finish there. The question is who's going to break through past per checkpoint. We're kind of down to 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, and so far Tidy Titans might be the one with the initial advantage there. 2 members have gone down, but that's a great find. Who else? It's David that gets the stop there, and they will throw such a bomb as a little bit of a present, but Tidy Titans is recovering very quickly here.
Yeah, quickly it's that, because that is going to be the lead change, but still, there is Bolt to try to follow up and put a stop to that as fast as they can. A nice double pick coming out from the Luna Blaster. That's 3 members still left alive on the side of Tidy Tidings, and getting it down to the 48 mark is going to be huge with a minute and some change left to go. However, Royalty has proven us wrong time and time again, and that they can try and change the script, but still, with Tidy Tidings being so present on this elbow side, they're going to keep trying to delay the Rainmaker push as much as they can, and they did that especially with Ella getting 2 more points. Yeah, and Ella being very sneaky with the moves that they had, trying to paint their feet down, just trying to get a few extra points on the board, just trying to catch the rest of Royalty a little off guard, and in fact, even keeping the Rainmaker down there so that it wants a little bit of time to reset. But it's only 46 points remaining. It's not remotely a safe lead, so the defense needs to step up right now if you are the Tidy Tidings. But they've gone 2 down. Right as I know the defense there, that will be the huge little sneak around there. There should be a lead change imminently, which it will be, but it's down to 44 points remaining. It's still the same script. It's not quite safe yet. Both teams are not quite in safe lead territory whatsoever there. The Rainmaker is picked up. They're going to have to play this one a little bit safe here. They finally drop it down, but with 38 seconds left to go, Saf, this Tidy Titans now the one having to play a little bit from behind, but not by much. Yeah, the Carbon just barely missing that sneak around from the Rainmaker ultimately is what caused that lead point to change. So it's super unfortunate just not being able to turn around quite in time. So now a 2-point difference here in the lead, but still a strong hold to be had by the folks of Tidings. But look at Joa here coming out from the back, taking 2 down. They eliminated the Crab Tank, took another down in the process. That's Bo going down in the process. And you have Ella on the Rainmaker again, but there's nobody really there to help them out. They're kind of stuck by themselves here as bombs keep coming in. You have different like specials trying to be deployed here, but they are now caught out by themselves. That's the Zipcaster putting the nail in the coffin. Royalty 3-0 all the way forward.
I feel like this is the rare time where I don't think I've ever seen the points be 60 points or more, and it kind of just became this back and forth matchup. I feel, and let's be honest here, Joe is the one that kind of kickstarted that entire defense for Royalty there. That critical double just beat him out, just having Sashi now have to focus eyes onto them, and not only losing out on the crafting, but also going down and then able to get the trade off. And with the game conditions the way it stood there with the last 20 seconds, you cannot afford to lose so many members in that situation. Joel could have not came out any more clutch at that point in time. And hey, 3-0 for Royalty. They find themselves in winners finals here, Saf.
Yeah, that's got to be feeling good for Royalty. They've been here before, Keon. They want to do it again. So getting back into the winners finals side of things is definitely going to be feeling pretty good for them. And it's looking like, just in terms of what the bracket is saying for us, that the dash before time 3, 2 Goober 2 dash, the folks of 2 Goober 2 dash in the remnants of 2 Goober 2 dash, however you want to put it, the dash before time 3, looking to try and close out their fight with Celestial and cashing in on a 3-0, looking to try and take on Royalty in round 4 here as listed on the bracket. But looking down below, Last Squid Standing, as we said before, getting the 2-0 over Rewind. We got to see them on the stream earlier today, and they get to go against Roulette. So Roulette 2-0 over Guess What? Honor Bound and This Is Fine in a very decisive game 3. The winner of that going against Tidal Disruption. And honestly, Keon, I think Tidal Disruption has actually been kind of waiting for the deciding match of Honor Bound and This Is Fine for a little while now, because I've been seeing the 2-0 against Flipside since the last time we had a break.
Tidal Disruption and Last Squid Standing are making great. I don't know if crazy would be the word I'd use, but yeah, they're making runs all the way to round 3. Tidal Disruption might be a little cold though, as they're waiting for that Honor Bound and This Is Fine to be wrapping up there in that best of 3. But yeah, Tidal Disruption convincing set victories 2-0, 2-0. But again, having to wait just a little bit longer there. So that's another team you want to keep eyes on if they're going to make a very deep run out of losers round 1 and possibly onwards. But I look at that, as you know, there's the remnants of 2 Goober 2 Dash. I'm actually having to look up what their original iteration was. In the I can only imagine this might have been in the August or earlier edition for them, which by the way we now know it's Honor Bound, but for Tidal Disruption. But still, for the Dash Before Time, the third iteration of the Goober Dash team, it looks like it's 2-0, but obviously I think we're still waiting for the set to go final here for to determine who Royalty is going to face.
Yeah, we're still waiting on to see if Celestial is going to extend